Di from BeingMommywithStyle, and today I'm going to do a question and answer video as we're kind of getting settled in for moving. And so I posted if anyone had any questions over on Facebook and also Instagram. So I've got my phone here because there were a number of questions. So I'll try to ask the ones that either got asked the most or just kind of see like which ones I think you guys will find the most interesting. Anyhow, thank you for all the questions. I will go through them and try to see what I think you guys would think is the most interesting. Also, I had questions on here about what makeup I'm liking right now, what clothes I'm liking right now, what bags I'm liking right now, and I'll try to do a separate video on that. I'll try to show a mulberry collection over on Bags for Bubbles. I'll be ordering from the Sephora Rouge sale coming up, so I'll try to do a video on that. And really, if there's anything that you guys want to see like that, just let me know, give me a video request, because I know that sometimes it gets very difficult for me to get time like this to do videos where I'm actually just on my own and able to talk. So videos like that get cut out a lot, like bag reviews and Sephora hauls. And so if you're wanting to see those, just let me know, because I'm still, you know, getting things at Sephora. I just don't have this dedicated amount of time. Nap time, do you remember nap time? It was glorious. I had this block of time where I could sit down and make videos. It doesn't happen every day now. But, you know, I like to sit down and go through the box and show it and test it and all that. And I'm just not really able to do it like that anymore, really at the rate that I was. But if you want to see those videos, let me know and I'll do my best to try to get them on my video schedule. That being said, my video planning is usually just a list of items that I think I can try to get to. So if you ever want to see anything, just do a request and I'll try to get it on the video schedule. So let me answer a couple questions real quick. So April asked, any fun fall trips coming up? What's your favorite fall tradition or activity? So, I mean, being in Michigan and Illinois, we would go to like pumpkin patches and do that every year. Definitely we'll do that again this year. We're doing a work trip where we'll go to a local pumpkin patch, and I think both the girls are going for their school as well. As far as fall fun trips, we'll probably do a bunch of like day trip, weekend trips, probably go up to Chattanooga again, Atlanta, Nashville, all the stuff that's close around us, go to my mom's house. And we're also supposed to be meeting one of my husband's friends in Memphis for a weekend there. So we've just got a bunch of like little weekend trips planned. Those are the things planned for this fall. Then Katie asked, do you have any tips for moving and dealing with showings of your house with kids? So moving and showing your house with kids is super stressful. I'm not gonna lie, it's super stressful. So the biggest thing is that if you can have someone come in and help you give it a deep clean, or if you're comfortable doing that on your own, like with the last house, I just devoted 2 or 3 hours, deep cleaned the house, and everyone knew from that point on they could not make any messes. Like, we're not eating in the house. So after I do that deep clean, it's just most realistic. If you have kids, you obviously need to be out of the house for the showings, but just really anticipate that a lot of your meals are gonna have to be out of the house. And we just build that into the cost of moving, to be honest with you. If you are, you know, have a house on the market and you pick up the kids, say at like 3 or 4 o'clock, you have showings, like usually from 5, 6, 7, there's just a full block of them in the nights because people work and people want to look at houses during the night. So I just anticipate eating out of the house with the kids. If you have a lot of toys and you don't have a playroom, I would try to get as many of them out as possible. Box them up, put them away, because the less the kids have to make a mess with, the less messes that will be made. So really try to get as much out as you can and either box them up and put them in the garage, box them up and put them in storage, and that will really help so you're not having to run around frantically pick up 5,000 different toys. Jamie asked, do you miss having 4 different seasons? Which one do you miss the most? So when I'm down here in the winter, I really miss winter, but I miss it for like 1 day, if that makes sense. So I'm not a huge like snow person, but I really wish I could just get like one like really good snow. And by really good snow, I mean like Michigan snow, not Alabama snow, like Michigan snow. Like a couple feet of snow, and then like I don't want to see it again until next year. Obviously there's snow. I don't think there's really any place to get snow like that. It's either all or nothing. So maybe I just need to fly up and visit in the middle of winter. But I really don't like summer here. It's just a little too hot, to be honest. It's really hot. So, but at least, like I was just telling a friend that was visiting today, at least when it's really hot and you're stuck inside here, because no one goes outside in summer here. Or if you do, it's for very short, limited amounts of time. but you don't see anyone walking outside and that sort of thing in the middle of the day in the summer. Everyone stays inside. So I miss one, being able to go out in the middle of summer, but I told my friend today, I was like, well, at least we can get in our cars and drive and not have to worry about wrecking our car in the middle of the summer because it's hot. You know, it's different than winter where it's like it's a hazard too. So we do have fall here. We do have spring. It's just like summer is really long and really hot, and winter is short and really not that bad at all. There are still 4 seasons here. Let's see. Tiffany asked what current favorite bags are since transitioning to the workplace. I'm using mulberry bags a lot, so I'll do an updated video on those and kind of share my collection. Vanessa also said, I miss your haul videos from Sephora. What are your current beauty favorites? So I'm still loving Tarte. I'm still loving Urban Decay. Use a lot of Tarte actually. A new brand that I've been trying a lot of things from is Milani. At one of our Targets here, they carried in store, and I've tried a lot of great face products, cheek products, like the foundation blush or foundation powder is really good, and also their primer is very, very good too. So I'll share that in the beauty video coming up soon, and I'm also planning on ordering from Sephora for the rouge sale, so I will share that in a video as well. I just don't get a good block of time. I like opening up the box when I'm sitting here and like testing everything and, you know, like really talking while I open it as opposed to being over the box, but I just don't have a lot of good time like this to be able to sit and do the video. Laura asked, what is your advice for transitioning from a stay-at-home mom to working outside of the home? And I'd say first things first, while you're a stay-at-home mom, if you could do any sort of volunteer work, or like with me, I did the YouTube, or I do the YouTube and the blogging, something that can show on your resume that you have that initiative and it's still going. Not that being a stay-at-home mom is not a full-time job, because trust me, it is a full-time round-the-clock job. But just to put something on your resume to kind of put in that gap, definitely helpful. But honestly, I found that a lot of our employers are very, very like comfortable and fine with the fact that people take off work to be a stay-at-home mom. So first of all, don't be worried about that. Just, it is what it is. And honestly, if an employer does not understand that, you probably don't want to work for them, to be honest. Just a little side note. But also, just as far as the transition part, just give yourself grace. That is the biggest thing, because you can't be everywhere all the time, and I want to be doing like 5 million things at one time, and you just have to let some things go. And some things take longer. Like if I was a stay-at-home mom, this office would already be unpacked, it'd already be set. This is one of the last rooms in the house that is not unpacked, and there's no shame in that. I mean, I work full-time, I do YouTube part-time, I just signed up to be a Scentsy consultant. Oh yeah, by the way, a mom and a wife, and I have other things in my life that I like to do beyond all that. So I've not gotten around to it yet, and that's fine. And so if I was a stay-at-home mom, it would just be driving me nuts. It does bother me a little bit right now, but I have to give myself grace and say, I've got the kids' rooms unpacked, I got our room unpacked, I got pretty much the whole darn rest of the house unpacked. The kitchen's functional and good to go. I just have to give myself some grace. It'll get done. So that's my biggest advice there, is just, you know, don't stress your own self out. Skincare game changers. Honestly, I should do like a whole beauty favorite series, but Origin Skincare, amazing. Really honestly changed my life when I started using it about 6 years ago. Really, really great. Ashley and a few other people asked this kind of similar question. She said, would you like any more children? So this is like a whole big conversation, isn't it? So here's the thing. I'm very glad we had Penguin, because he's like our 2.5 child. I think that I would be fine with having another kid. I think that if I would do it, I wouldn't want to have another kid before I'm 40. I think that 1 more would be my limit. I think that 3 is the most I could ever see myself with. That being said, I think my husband's done. So that's pretty much the end of the conversation, because if one person is done, then we're all done. So I think he's pretty much closed up shop, and I got a dog instead. So that's that, but never say never, because I've said we're never moving again about 2 or 3 times now, and that has come back to get me. So never say never. There's a couple questions about girls' favorite American Girl stuff and that sort of thing. We'll do a whole separate video on American Girl, so you guys can check that out in that video. What is your favorite thing to do at any time? Does sleep count? Is that a valid answer? Sleep, drink wine, sit in the bathtub. This is really bad, but let's just be a little honest here while we're sitting and chatting. We're sitting and chatting. I don't get a lot of time alone anymore, and that is one of the things that I miss the most. I love my family dearly. I love my kids. I love my husband. I really enjoy being around people at work. In fact, it's kind of that dual thing of like, I wanted to go back to work to be around people during the day, because I get like lonely here during the day, but now it's the flip side of like, I'm never on my own. And like, buddy, being in that car for 30 minutes commuting is glorious. I really enjoy that time. So being in the house alone would be my favorite activity. It's really dual. You always want what you don't have. Isn't that true? Are you planning a Disney trip currently? Believe it or not, we are not. We will go to Disney again. We will go to Disney again soonish. We will go to Disney again more than the average family. But I don't have one planned right now, and that's fine. We're thinking about going, we would like to go on a family cruise next year. It probably, spoiler alert, will probably not be Disney. I would like to do a Maritime or a Halloween cruise with Disney, Halloween on the High Seas with our family. But we're thinking about doing a larger extended family cruise to Alaska, and that will probably be on Royal Caribbean. And so I kind of want to get that booked and like set aside before I figure out when our other vacations are going to be. So that's kind of taking precedent. Taylor asked, do you see a trip to Universal in the near future? I see a trip to Universal in the future. Near future, I don't know. The girls really need to get taller. They both need to get taller. So Disney works great for us because it's all contained and magical and etc. But it also works great for us because of their height. Natalie's still not tall enough to ride Expedition Everest. Natalie's not 44 inches yet. So we need them both to get a little taller before we do Universal. That being said, probably by the time it's Bella's 9 3/4 birthday. So it would not be this spring, but then the following spring. Spring break that year, that might be our Universal year. So stay tuned, because I think that's probably when it's going to happen. We'll see. Danielle asks, how are you enjoying the new house and schools? Also, I would love an Alex and Ani video showing your collection. Thanks, Danielle. I will share that in an upcoming video. I really love them. I'd love to get some of the Harry Potter ones, so I'll share those in an upcoming video. Okay, the new house, we love it. It's going great. Love the layout. It's very, very different layout from any house that we've had, but it's working out great. The schools, also working out great. We are going into, I believe, our 4th week of school, and the kids are loving it. They have the extra enrichment activities that I was looking for, the writing in class. The girls each have their own computer that they're doing. They do art and music alternating every week. They do that all year long. Since the beginning of school, they've had the Huntsville Police Department bring their K-9 unit in. They've had and like read them books and stuff. Then they've had a group from Kenya come in and talk about the difference in their culture and how they live there, and how the difference in buying handmade goods that they had with them could impact their community there. So that was super cool, like a really cool social studies unit. And then they are also having College and Career Week next week. And each day is a special day to encourage the kids about the importance of academics and learning and aspiring to do great things in your life. Amazing, amazing experience that we're having this year. Complete and total difference from what we had last year. Testing and benchmarking is important, yes, because you have to know where you started to know where you're going. But it's not this continual focus on you have to practice the testing on your homework, and you have to be timed to do these things on your homework. And what did you do in class today? Well, we took a test. We practiced the test. It's not all revolving around that. So I'm so thankful for that. Having a good experience. Isabella is a completely different child. I mean, I could literally see her just wilting. We really needed a school district that could meet both kids' needs. I mean, have two very different children. And Isabella needed to be challenged academically. And I just think last year they didn't know what to do with her, quite frankly. And then this year, she's being challenged. She's also starting GATE, which is something that starts in 3rd grade in any school district in Alabama. which is gifted and talented education. So that'll give her an extra challenge. That'll be 1 day a week. So it's up, you know, above and beyond a regular kind of class work and all that. So that'll be good because that'll be an extra challenge. But it's just, she's just blossomed really, honestly. And it's very good for my heart to see, because I was starting to get really concerned last year. Because I mean, I was seeing just complete, she wasn't being challenged, and she was getting done with things so quickly. They didn't know what to do with her. And she was just taking these tests and blowing the roof out. And then like, well, what do you do with her then? I mean, I don't care if what you say, you know, her reading level here is so much higher than what it is in Michigan or whatever. It doesn't, you should still be able to teach her. You should still be able to like give her something that's at her level to challenge her. Anyhow, past is past. This year's going better. And it seems to not be an issue this year. She's doing much, much better. Natalie's Natalie. Natalie's a very different child. Natalie has declared at the beginning of the year that all she wants to do in life is be a mommy and have kids, which I think is wonderful. So we really wanted to find a school district that can help both kids achieve their life goals. And so the biggest thing we want to instill in Natalie is that I think it's great if you want to be a mommy and you want to have children, and even if you want to be a stay-at-home mommy, you still need to get that education and get some, you know, educational experience, and it's still important, but then go off and be a mommy. So it's going well. There's a lot of cool things going on, and they're having a good year. So it's very happy to see that. Jessica asked, how do you get the girls to try new things to eat and or / eat what you're eating for dinner? So #1 rule in my house, and I've had this rule since they were kids, I do not make people separate dinners, period. End of story. Started this, I mean, I've never made them separate dinners. They did that since they were babies. Well, not baby. I mean, babies, they got baby food, but from about a year on, whatever we were eating for dinner, they got. With the exception, asterisk, if it's something spicy, I make them something different. Usually something just a little bit dulled down from what we're eating. So I'm making chicken curry. I make some chicken that doesn't have the curry on it, and they get just plain chicken. But as a general rule, most nights are not like that. We have tacos, they're getting tacos. If we're having pizza, they're getting pizza. If we're having spaghetti, they're getting spaghetti. So that seems to work well, so you're not making like 15 different meals. But then the second thing to that is, I'm gonna make it, that's what's for dinner. If they don't wanna eat it, that's fine, but they're not getting anything else to eat. So I don't make like that much exotic food like ever. So they have the choice to eat it, eat something, and I'm not gonna make something different if they don't eat it. I have one child that loves veggies, loves fruit, you know, salads. They're actually starting to both kind of like salads a lot, but Isabella will pretty much eat anything, and she eats really, really healthy. Natalie loves cheese and bread, and, you know, a woman after my own heart here. So getting her to eat is a little bit more difficult, but I just really try not to waver on making her anything else. So I'm not gonna like make her chicken nuggets because she doesn't like spaghetti. You don't like spaghetti, you don't have to eat it, but you're not getting anything else. So that's that. Unfortunately, I don't really think that you can change a kid's palates, because again, my two polar opposite children, Isabella just has a very specific palate that's more open to eating a lot of things. Natalie has a very narrow palate, and if it's not within that palate, she doesn't eat it. And that's fine. She just eats what she has on her plate that she will eat, which doesn't make it a huge variety sometimes, but you know, it is what it is. So a couple more questions and I gotta go make dinner. Timely enough here. Rosie asked if you could only keep one item from your Ray Down collection, which one would it be? This is super tough, but it would probably be my teapot. I really love that teapot. I keep it separate from everything else. It's in the dining room, and I love that teapot. All right, one last question, and then we'll have some other videos kind of on some of these things. Kelly asked, any tips on moving with kids and leaving friends behind? So this is tough, because especially if you're moving a far distance, Bella would still get upset sometimes, but she had a little friend in Michigan she really, really liked, and he was a boy, by the way, but they got along really well, and so sometimes she will ask him, and she'll ask about him, still get upset. Oddly enough, his mom, hi, if you're watching, she got a hold of me on my Facebook page for this channel a little while ago, and so I thought about actually seeing if they could pen pal each other. So it's tough, especially if they're younger and they don't really understand, you know, why, you know, they don't understand careers and trying to advance your career and all that sort of thing. Like they just get like, we're moving and we're picking up and leaving. I'd say first of all, just giving them some advance notice to digest it helps. One, try to plan play dates with people before you leave. I know it's tough, but just try to see as many people as you can before you leave. And then I would say this is the one thing that we've kind of failed on, is try to get an email address or an, you know, writing address that they can keep in contact with those like really great friends. Although I will say this last move, this was a little easier because it was local. We had friends that came over and visited today. They were actually a friend of Isabella's and her mom from her previous school. And those two just really hit it off. They had a lot of things in common. So we're keeping in contact with them, because even though the girls don't go to the same school anymore, it doesn't mean that they can't still be friends. So I think it really depends whether it's a far distance move, which I'm guessing you're probably asking about a far distance move, versus a local. But I would just say try to see them as much as possible before you leave. Try to keep in contact with them. And, you know, just have as many conversations that the child needs to have to get their emotions out during the move, because their emotions one day to the next may be different. So really just try to talk about it. All right, so I'm going to leave it like that for today. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have any other questions down below, because there were a lot more questions, so I'll split them into a separate video. Check out my links down below, because this video will probably be dropping sometime right before the 1st, which is when the new Scentsy collection drops. So I will be doing reviews of all that and the Disney items that I order. And let me know if you have any other questions you'd like to see in a question and answer video, and they might be in the next one. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good day.